Good evening, ladles and jelly spoons, and welcome to a special bonus stream here at twitch.tv/Jeraffemy. I am the Jeraffemy Jeremy Graves, and as you can see, I am not joined by Felflowne, aka Claire, but I am joined by Hasbando, that underscore man, Keith. Keith, how's it going?
Not too bad. I am excited for this state of play that is coming up because it is pretty much aimed squarely at my obsession point.
That is indeed correct. I will say from the outset, folks, do let us know if any audio seems out of kilter and whatnot. To peek behind the curtain, tech problems are plenty before we went live, so if something is off, do let us know as we go along. I will try and adjust. But yes, as Keith said, we are here tonight to watch the late night edition of the PlayStation State of Play focused purely on Final Fantasy VII. Oh, thank you very much, Harriet. I'm not sure if Keith heard that at all, but thank you very much. And woo, Final Fantasy says Harriet. Thank you very, very much. And of course, Felflowne is in chat as well. They are still about. They're not far, quite literally, if something occurs. But yes, we are here to watch the PlayStation State of Play for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which begins in about 9 minutes or so time. As was the case with the State of Play last week, it's a premiere video on YouTube, so once it actually begins, we'll sort of switch over proper and whatnot to the screen. But now, Keith, the reason, the primary reason, I will say, that we have you on tonight, as Claire had actually mentioned on a past stream, I believe, as well, you are, and I will say this from my own perspective as well, you are a Final Fantasy nut. You literally are probably one of the biggest fans of Final Fantasy VII I know. And it really just felt appropriate to have someone of your nature, given all the merch I have seen that you own, for you to be here to react to whatever the heck is going to be shown tonight.
Yeah, well, it's been a good time to be a Final Fantasy VII fan. I mean, yeah, as you said, something of a Final Fantasy VII nerd because it was something of a momentous thing for young Keith back in the day when this game hit. Back when I was the sweet age of I think 16, 17 years old when this thing first came out.
Just getting comments in the chat now of his nature. I said it, what can I say? So, Keith, I guess, give us a bit of perspective then from your take, because I've played Final Fantasy VII Remake. I haven't played the DLC. I really loved Remake. I didn't do, like, Platinums and all that stuff because time and whatnot, but I know you really enjoyed it, but from your perspective, what was the whole sort of Remake and DLC experience like for you? Were you very happy with that?
Well, TLDR, yes. I think the main thing for me on that game was, I mean, I'm a massive fan of the original game, and honestly, if anybody's played the horrible gacha game that they have at the moment for it, all I was expecting when they were saying they were going to do confirm they were going to do some kind of remake was basically a kind of high-end graphics upgrade of the original game, you know, just upscale things and make the models better. But instead I got this whole, as we now know, 3-game experience that is happening. And I think the biggest surprise for me was you can't recapture the nostalgia of your youth. So, as I said, I would have been happy with something that was a graphical upgrade, but instead I got this complete ground-up rework, which, having gone back to the OG game again a few times to kind of remind myself of what it was like, it's like coming back to this and playing the remake, it's like the game that I always saw in my imagination. They have somehow now actually physically put in front of me in the modern era, and that just kind of hit me straight in the feelings. It was like straight through all my cynical defenses, and I'm like, this is amazing and absolutely love it. And one thing I wasn't expecting was for this game to actually recapture that love I felt for the original game and the sense of mystery and discovery. And for me, they managed that, and I was blown away as a result. So that is why I love the remake so much. I mean, it's genuinely a good game anyway, but especially as an OG fan, the way they've basically taken what was inside my head and put it in front of me was very much like amazing.
Now, I will regale people with a small tale, because we used to work at the same workplace and whatnot, when the game came out, we were discussing our thoughts on it and such. And aside from the fact as well that, my copy didn't arrive day one, I ended up sending it back, but that's a whole different story. But there was one element of the game that you really had an issue with, and it was a mini game. It was like a pull-up gym workout mini game that I think you told me you had to try like hundreds of times to ace it, and I think I did it like 5 or 6 times.
I spent a good 4 or 5 hours on the Tifa versus...
The pull-up challenge, thank you, Claire, thank you.
Yeah, the Tifa versus Julian pull-up challenge game. It took... Yeah, and when you said you just like did it like that, I'm like, well, good for you. It took me hours to get a win on that, because I'm like, I'm not leaving until I've got this goddamn trophy.
It was one of the few things I could actually flex out about how good I was at the game, and it's such a minuscule thing. But
I think it's the most minor sidebar mini game and the thing, and it was just like 4 or 5 hours just on that.
Claire's adding in the chat, at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, it took me a little while. I got there in the end. God, I think at the end I was looking up advice online on how to deal with this, and eventually the bit of advice that helped me the most was somebody was like, turn off the main game backing music, leave the background on, but turn off the main game dynamic music, because if you've just got the background sound effects, there's actually a beat that goes in time with when you should be doing the pull-ups. And once I'd done that, I literally, within 20 minutes, I'd finally completed the damn challenge. So I was like, thank you, anonymous commenter, for saving me from probably another 4 or 5 hours of pain.
You see, what this makes me realise, Keith, is that you didn't play Guitar Hero much, did you? Because if you'd have had Guitar Hero-based prowess, you might be able to deal with it a bit more.
Yeah, but I could, even if I had Guitar Hero, I would not have Guitar Hero prowess, because, as my wife will tell you, I have zero rhythm. Zero rhythm.
As backed up by Claire in the chat in all caps, I should add as well. So with that being said, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to transfer over to the next screen. And first of all, shout out to Claire Felflowne for this wonderful art. Full credit goes to them. So if you want to know more, make sure you find Felflowne via their linktree/Felflowne. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove this wonderful image for a second, because what I am waiting for to change, everybody, is for this screen to change. Once that changes and the thing starts counting down, which apparently, actually, it says premieres in 60 seconds, according to the screen, having just looked at it. So I don't know how, because that's 2 minutes early, so I'm very confused. But either way, when that screen starts to change properly, we will begin proper. There we go. So, Keith, any wild predictions for what may be covered in this? What's like the most extreme thing you can think of that they could perhaps touch on?
I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, especially this close to release date, I'm expecting most of this to be a rehash of stuff we've already seen before, with maybe in like the last 10 seconds they drop some kind of plot bomb that will have, that will have me like shitting myself and like, what the hell is happening? So that's I reckon that'll be happen. I reckon most of this is going to be a retread of stuff we've already seen, stuff that has already been available in other events or online, and then they'll throw in a last little bit just to justify having a whole panel in the last like 10-20 seconds.
Well, I can now tell you.
We'll see.
I can now tell you. It says premiere will begin shortly. We're now updating. As it were. Also, evening to you, Yomako. Hope you are doing well tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. So yes, also, I will just say randomly, folks, I know Keith can't hear this, but if you can hear kind of what sounds like background sounds, there's a giant windstorm currently pummeling my window next to my computer. So if you can hear background sounds, that's what it is. But when the stream gets going proper, as it were...
Not a euphemism.
Well, what am I to do? I can't do anything with that, so... just put this. I'll just admire this artwork of you. That being hopefully your reaction come the end of the stream, literally. That I want to see that
I
picture.
guess we'll see. I guess we'll see.
I need to see this in real life. Felflowne says Jeremy lives in a lighthouse. May not be far from the truth, we'll put it that way. In terms of wild things they could show off tonight, I'm curious to know if they're going to show off any of the gold saucer, like, in depth. Because I really want to know what that's going to entail. Oh, in fact...
They've shown a lot of screenshots of the gold saucer, so... yeah, I imagine there'll be some in-depth stuff of that. I would be interested to see if they show any in-depth shots of the Forgotten City, which is where this installment is allegedly going to end at what is possibly one of the most significant and seminal moments in gaming.
Folks, do let me know how sound is, because I can't really gauge on my end how it is for you. I can only gauge it in my ears, specifically, because that's just the way things have worked out. So I'll bump up.
I'm full screening this because I've just been looking at some of the chat going on in the YouTube sidebar, and it's just like, oh god.
You can hide that, by the way, as well, if you want to. Right, here we go. Let's see what we're in for, and I do have captions on my screen as well, by the way, folks, so they will be appearing. And like I say, let us know as we go along if I need to bump up the sound at all. I will bump up a bit now, just to be sure.
What happened to this place?
It was Sephiroth.
He wants to finish what he started and rule over the planet.
We have to help them.
You coming?
Way ahead of you.
Let's get to work.
I will reclaim our world.
皆さんこんにちは。スクエアエニックスの北瀬義則です。私がシリーズプロデューサーを務めるファイナルファンタジー7の最新作ファイナルファンタジー7リバースがついに2月29日に発売いたします。本作のストーリーは
Confirmed, still coming out in February.
その仲間たちが
I'm also excited.
魔法都市ミッドガルの外にある広大な世界へと足を踏み出すところから物語が始まります。今回のステートプレイではこのゲームの魅力を凝縮した最新のトレーラーをはじめ特別なゲーム紹介映像をご用意しています。また重要なお知らせがありますので、ぜひ番組の最後までお付き合いください。
See, yeah, at the end, something to lose our mind over.
Oh my god.
Cloud, bring me the black materia.
Oh, the temple, bad times for everyone.
The beginning of the end. The celebration of the faithful. A watershed moment for all mankind. Hey kids, sorry we're late.
Oh my girl.
This is looking so good still. Oh, I forgot how good this looks.
Was that Aerith in sunglasses?
Yes, it 100% was.
Oh, are you going to get hit by a truck, Palmer? Oh no. Oh, you're still here.
At long last, the day returns. I refuse to be upstaged a second time!
Roche. Yes.
Good, Cloud.
Oh, amazing.
Very good. Fill your hollow heart with rage.
Suggestive. Oh no.
I'm back now, Aerith. I'm back.
We ask that you retrieve it. The black materia. Key to our oblivion. Please. It alone can liberate us from this endless dream.
Passing through. You.
Tifa!
That's Keith.
Hey guys! They're getting some sun too, huh?
Yeah.
What is that costume?
Oh god. Oh my god.
You should get yourself a reading!
I need a cold shower.
It's gotta be hiding some ginormous
Very cold shower.
materia. Woohoo! Whoa! Hold this thing over right
said that Sephiroth is your foe. I have a history with him.
You wouldn't believe what he can do.
Yes. Yeah. Oh no, a card game.
Wait, don't misunderstand. You'll need a way home. So when you're ready, I'll be here.
An emissary from Wutai is here, sent by Viceroy Saru.
With all this goddamn blood on my hands, how could I ever hold my daughter again?
Those we hate, those we love, those we fear. Jenova would become anyone to fool her prey.
Don't do this!
But I'm no fool.
Sephiroth!
Oh lord.
No, not you.
Here. Take it. This isn't about me, though. It's about saving the world. And you.
The reunion, when spite and sorrow are harvested to feed the planet. No!
There's so much to unpack from that. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
there is a lot going on here.
On 2 discs!
皆さんこんにちは。ファイナルファンタジー7リバ
I
ー
love his
スディレクター
jumper.
の浜口直樹です。トレーラーはいかがでしたでしょうか。
That's actually a really cool
ここから
jumper
は
image. Look.
本作がどのようなゲームなのか私から皆様にご紹介していきたいと思います。
Those in the chat still sounding okay? Everything's still sounding good? Do let me know. Cheers.
I'm waiting, Cloud.
In Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cloud and his companions triumph over destiny. Leaving the city of Midgar behind, they step out into an unfamiliar wilderness. It is here that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth begins.
Interesting name overdubbed this video as well.
Yeah.
The stage upon which this ragtag band story unfolds is both vast and varied. The world is made up of multiple regions, all
Yes.
seamlessly interconnected.
Yes.
The grasslands. Located due south of Midgar, this is where Cloud and the gang resume their adventure. The Junon region, where a metropolis by the same name overlooks the ocean, a symbol of
It never
chivalrous
occurred to me how the
military might.
chocobos would look climbing. That's so cool.
The Corel
How
region,
beautiful that is.
the resort town of Costa del Sol
Segway!
adorns its northern shore,
Yes.
while the gold saucer stands as a
That's
gilded
lucky,
oasis above the Dust Bowl far to the south.
Sean says don't know about the
In Gaga
graphics, very
region,
cloudy.
Pay tribute to Zack while exploring his hometown, or visit what remains of the local Mako reactor.
Oh, that's an
The
interesting
Cosmo
choice.
Canyon region. Become one with the planet as you return to Red 13's roots. The Nebel region. Take a trip down memory lane with Cloud and Tifa. Or stop by Shinra Manor.
Yeah, that won't be
where Vincent
traumatic.
rests in peace. Your adventure will even extend to the high seas.
I'm also keeping an eye on the controls in the bottom left corner because there have been
There's
some
more to do
interesting
than
control
simply walk
mapping.
around, however. First, let's look at world intel.
Ah, Chadley.
Assisting Chadley with his research will
Chadley?
deepen his understanding of the world, allowing him to develop new materia. This research takes many forms, such as wrangling chocobos,
I'm gonna
or
lose
playing with
so
the
much of my
movements in their
life to
mog
this game.
schools. You may also come across sanctuaries brimming with knowledge of divine entities, or lairs inhabited by fierce and unique foes. Chadley will also enlist your help
Oh my
in
God!
researching mysterious artifacts known as proto-relics. Each Each investigation is its own
Oh.
side story, featuring a colorful cast of characters,
Oh,
exciting new minigames,
Small
and
Puddle, thank you
ferocious
so much for the
creatures.
follow. Very much
Are you up for
appreciated.
the challenge?
Oh, and the
And
crew
once
from
you
Integrate
recover
as
all
well.
the pro
Awesome.
elements scattered throughout the world, there's no telling what new developments might be in store.
Oh,
Next,
my
let's
God.
talk about odd jobs. These quests offer a deep dive into the regions of the world and the crazy characters who inhabit them. As a merc, Cloud will accept work from people he meets in his travels.
Catch the
and team
chicken.
up with his
Puddy,
pals
sorry,
to
not
solve
Puddle. I saw
their
it as
troubles.
Puddle. I meant Puddy, sorry. So
By
sorry.
helping those in
Oh,
need,
this
he
douchebag's
will
back.
also strengthen the bonds between him and his
Oh, no.
comrades. Each one of these odd jobs boasts a unique side story. Some,
Why
like
are there two
Johnny's
Johnnies?
questline, horror aspects from the original FF7, while others highlight content exclusive to Rebirth. You'll find all sorts of jobs the world over. And don't worry if you leave some for later. Story progression won't affect your side hustle. You can
got a
always
rhythm
go
Why are you in my
back to tie
house?
up loose ends.
Gecko!
And this freedom to experience the story how you want is one of Rebirth's greatest strengths.
That is a very clever way
While
of doing a
some
minigame like
minigames are
that.
tied to world intel,
I
and
love
odd
that we've got
jobs,
the old models
many
in
are
there.
not. For example, popular ones from the Gold Saucer,
Yes!
such as 3D Brawler, G-Bike, and Chocobo Racing, are in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth 2.
God, look at all this
Others
nonsense. I
improve
love it.
upon their remake versions, while still more are completely new to Rebirth. We've even fleshed out some of the mini-games that were featured as part of the original Final Fantasy VII's main scenario.
Oh my god.
So why did you lose your job, Keith?
Though
Well,
this one is not in the original, I highly suggest you check out the card game.
oh my God, Reg.
No matter where you are in the story, it's sure to both challenge and entertain you. Enjoy collecting all the cards and building your own unique decks.
He's planning to use the black materia, but I won't let that happen. He has to be stopped by a Cetra. And I'm the last.
While mini-games and map exploration are a big part of Rebirth's charm, there's more to it than just that. Rebirth provides a cinematic experience, with even higher quality content and more of it than Remake. This installment follows Cloud and company after they escape Midgar, up through to their arrival at the Forgotten Capital. We've taken painstaking care to
I
depict
just
how
thought the same
the
thing,
group
Keith.
bonds during their journey. One that
Look at that.
ultimately decides Aerith's fate. Once you finish Rebirth, I'm sure you'll agree that no other game makes you feel quite this close to its characters.
Oh god.
As for the graphics, Rebirth makes full use of the PlayStation 5 and its SSD, meaning we could use much higher resolution assets than we could in Remake. And they will still load in the blink of an eye.
All of
Maintain a
this just
60
looks so
FPS frame rate
ridiculously pretty.
performance mode.
Oh, it's insane. I will say, the whole idea of this performance
Or
mode and graphics mode
prioritize
thing does
4K
irk me, I will
resolution
say
with
that.
graphics mode.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Whichever you prefer, Rebirth has you covered. Each character interacts with the world in their own way. Barrett shoots objects.
Because
Yuffie
Barrett is
swings across
angry
gaps.
and steals everything.
Tifa has her grappling gun. Red can climb
Interesting
along
camera,
walls.
not complaining.
Kate Sith grabs and throws items.
No one
And
cares.
Aerith manipulates the life stream. Whatever challenges you face, your teammates will be ready to help you overcome them. Now for the music. We wanted to pay respect to the original FF7's tracks, but also challenge ourselves by matching the feeling of each scene, which resulted in some truly innovative arrangements. Like, for example, the following.
Highwind looks so cool!
There better be another special edition soundtrack collection, because I'm buying the shit out of that.
How was that? If you enjoyed what you heard, we recorded well over 400 new tracks for this game, so there's plenty more of
Oh
that.
god.
Small Puddy just said, Barrett shoots objects. The only thing I learned today.
You enjoyed your trip with us.
Your party's bonds aren't just reflected in the story, but through gameplay as well.
Hey,
The choices you make throughout your adventure will change the way your comrades feel towards Cloud.
Yeah. At least I made that promise to you.
These feelings affect who will join you on a date in a gold saucer. Something I'm sure many of you are excited about. In fact,
Yeah, I wonder who
even
I'll be going
allies who
for.
weren't available in the original FF7 can now accompany you, provided you play your cards right.
That's replay value given there.
The saucer
Instantly.
is packed with many incredible sights to see and things to do.
If you can't go on a date with Sid, what's the
So
point?
your outing there will no doubt be a highlight of the game. Already have someone who you'd like to go with?
Cloud?
Well,
Oh my
we
God.
hope they feel the same way too.
This trailer is aimed directly at me.
I was going to say that
Your
literally.
companions will share a bond not only with Cloud, but with each other as well. Your party level, a numerical expression of this bond, will increase as you overcome challenges.
I'm going to accompany you.
The higher this level,
Confirmed.
the more skills will become available in your character's folios, a mechanic new to Rebirth.
God damn.
By unlocking the skills etched in these tomes, your characters will grow stronger and learn new synergy commands.
This reminds me of the Sphere Grid. It's got that vibe
This is the
about
kind
it.
of overly
Makes
complex
Rebirth's
bullshit I
combat so
love.
fun is all the different character combinations. Switch up your team to fit
I
the
think you're going to need
situation.
to have to
or even
book
your
another
mood.
couple of weeks off work.
Every possible party
I'm
combination
not even
has its
joking.
own unique synergy commands. So once you find characters that work for you, focus on tweaking their skills to match your combat needs. And don't be afraid to experiment. You can reset your folios at any time. With new characters and synergy commands at your disposal, Remake's satisfying hybrid of action combat and strategic planning has been made even more dynamic and engaging. We can't wait for you to experience all this and more in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PlayStation 5.
Oh my
本
god.
作のクリエイティブディレクターの野村哲也です。いかがだったでしょうか。広大な世界で描かれるクラウドたちの物語にどうぞご期待ください。
Yes, I'm excited,
Yeah.
Mr.
最後になり
Namura.
ましたが、
Very
皆
excited.
様に
Oh,
重
here we
要なお
go.
知らせがあります。本日より、ファイナルファンタジー7リバースを先行してプレイしていただける体験版を配信いたします。この体験版では、物語の重要なポイントとなるニブルヘイム事件が収録されており、クラウドやセフィロスを操作することができます。さらに、今回の体験版では発売までの間にアップデートが入り、
Oh,
基
okay.
本エリアの一部を探索できる追加デモが開
Yeah,
放
these
さ
are
れ
the
ます
demos they had at
本
Expo.
作の特徴であ
Right,
る
okay.
自由度の高いエリア探索を体験してください。詳細な情報は公式サイトや SNS をご確認ください。ぜひこの豪華な体験版をお楽しみいただきつつ、本作の発売をお待ちください。
Oh my god! This is an excellent way to show off the controller functions.
Don't give up now, you guys.
That said, if you've got an OG DualShock 5, then the battery won't last 2 minutes. Haptic feedback, that's the phrase, thank you.
Oh, God damn.
Was that it?
I think so.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for tuning in, it says.
Yeah, I mean, technically, a lot of that we've seen before, but
yeah.
the extra bits and pieces.
Well, there was a heck of a lot they showed off in there. Blimey. In what, 20 minutes, if that? When I think they said originally it was going to be like 40. So I'm just replaying the stream, by the way, on my end. So, well, there's a lot to unpack with what they showed in that 20 minutes. My word. Nothing to apologise for, Harriet, at all. Nothing to apologise for. So, I don't really know where to start with that, Keith, other than the fact that I can't wait for this. I'm so excited.
Yeah, as am I. Unsurprisingly. God, there was a bit.
Which bit really caught your attention of everything there? Because there was clearly a moment where they outright said you can choose Aerith's, you can help Aerith's fate, which implies something quite significant.
It does, but at the same time, in all the interviews that they've been doing with the game designers up to now, they've been saying that while there's obviously been this whole other possibilities being opened up, that the overall narrative regarding that key event is probably going to be very close to the original.
Yeah.
But I think there are going to be differences, but I don't know, because this is the thing that is going to make or break Rebirth, is how they deal with that pivotal moment, which is obviously going to be part of the climax of this game.
Sorry, the reason I smirked was because they showed Barrett in the sailor outfit again.
I appreciate these alternate costumes that they've got in Costa del Sol, because I am all about that. Plus, I was equally saddened to see Johnny again, because screw Johnny. Pain in the ass, but overjoyed to see Cisne come back into the plot, who is a character that features heavily in Before Crisis to do with Zack.
Oh, was that in Crisis Core then, is it?
Yes.
Oh, yes, which I've not played, so it's good to see that there's actually like another logical reason why they re-released that then and did like a rejob on it, like a remaster on it.
Well, yeah, based on the post-credit scene from Remake and other stuff in the already released trailers for Rebirth, there is obviously a dual timeline thing going on. And Cisne was a particularly significant character in Before Crisis, because while Zack Aerith has been a thing, Cisne was a very significant potential other. They had a very significant dynamic going on that even the game leans into quite heavily, where it's just like, was maybe something going on there possibly. So it's nice to see Cisne being brought back in, because especially with the way things are left in Crisis Core, because I know a lot of these games were made obviously after Final Fantasy VII, where because it was so successful they made all these spin-off and tie-in and prequel games, and of course due to the nature of that, it means you have these new characters they introduce that you really like that, you know, suddenly disappear in the main game because originally they were never there. But of course now we have gone back to Square One Remake. It allows them to bring in all these other elements from outside the game, because there's another significant factor as well in the fact that they've kind of gone on paper saying, not that there was any doubt before, that Advent Children is confirmed as 100% canon.
So how that
Well, yeah, they're doing a limited cinema release just prior to Rebirth coming out. So
just really making you think you might want to watch this.
so it's like, how does this established post Final Fantasy VII stream of events tie in with how Remake is going to play out? Because there was a few things in Remake, especially during the end boss battles, without giving any spoilers. There's bosses you face at the end that potentially could be aspects of characters who are in Advent Children, potentially. It's a possible interpretation. Nothing has been confirmed.
And also, it, again, trying to sort of skirt around exact thoughts here, the whole idea that there are like different timelines, the way that the climax of Remake occurs, it's very, very heavily leaning on things that have been teased of certain things needing to happen. For example, if you take the recent Spider-Verse film, Across the Spider-Verse, sorry, like there was the idea of like canon events being a pivotal part of the story, kind of something of similar ilk to that.
Uncle Ben always has to die.
Yes,
that kind of thing. Yes, yeah, and that's why I'm interested to see how they approach, as I was saying earlier, one of gaming's most significant moments. And it's just like, especially with the dual timeline aspect, I mean, you can potentially do both technically, but depending on how you play that, are you cheaping out? Or does it add to it? So
fixed points in times. Thank you, Wellwound, and good evening to you.
Yeah, that Doctor Who shit.
So yeah, that was excuse me, that was just a fantastic 20-minute stream, quite frankly. In terms of I knew we were
that long. I was like, it seemed to be too short, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I knew we were going to come out of this excited for the game. I, like you said, probably wasn't expecting much more, but the fact that they're making those demos that you would have played at Comic-Con in London back in October time, and no doubt other people probably played at events, the fact they're making it available just a couple of weeks before the game, and that they're going to add effectively like a patch to it, to add another bit, very interesting. That decision to sort of do it so close to release.
Sorry, what was the patch to add another bit?
So they said that they're going to open the demo with one particular area, and then they're going to add a second bit, like a little bit later, which will be the thing leading up to, what was it? It was near the end of the stream. I can find it.
Oh no, it's at the back in October when I was at MCM. There was 2 demos you could play. You could either play the Nibelheim mission with Cloud and Sephiroth, or you could play an open world segment which was in the region around Junon.
Yeah, that's what they're going to add second, the Junon bit.
Yeah, so I will probably, depending on time, maybe get hold of those again, because when I was playing them at MCM, due to the nature of those demos, unlike the demo they had for Remake back in the day, where it was basically a slightly truncated version of the opening mission of the game, because you had these 2 demo options and both of them are quite involved, you basically had a time limit when you were playing them of like 10-15 minutes, depending on how large the crowd was, which meant unless you were burning through at a rate of knots, you would not get through. You just couldn't get through everything that was there. So
I'm looking forward to writing a segue as well, just to deviate quickly again, having just seen it.
Segue, the buggy. I mean, God, the environments just look beautiful and expansive, and
the map, mate. How big the map was!
Yeah, that is a beefy amount of space.
Where was it? Let me try and find it again, because it's around here. Here it is. So that is the map, just to pause it on the screen there. That is massive.
Yeah, that is a significant chunk of change.
Well, folks, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Part 2, if you will, confirmed to be out at the end of the month. But it did not slip like we imagine. Just imagine.
Touch wood. Touch wood.
Yeah, there you go. People heard that. Touch wood. So, yeah, I guess that's probably going to just about wrap us up then for this streaky. But is there anything else you want to convey, or anything else in particular that caught your eye, which has really made you think? Other than the fact that you can seemingly go on a date with a person of your choice if you play your cards right and say the right things.
Well, that's the thing, because back in the original game, it was a you could potentially go on a date with Aerith, Tifa, Barrett, or Yuffie. I mean, so 4 choices from the OG game, and the implication seems to be there is significantly more now. So I'm like wondering, you know, are you there on a date with Red? Are you there on a date with Sid? Are you there on a date with Vincent? Or worse yet, a date with Kate Sith? Because the whole crew is now available in this game. I'm not sure if all of them will be 100% playable, but all of the crew are going to be there. So it will be interesting to see. I mean, I don't know, I'm assuming, much like the original game, there will be a bias in the systems that means that Aerith is the most likely outcome for that, potentially. But at the same time, there is a key Gold Saucer event where you take part in a play, which appears to be plot driven, whereby that's going to be Aerith regardless. So it looks like the other characters take part to some degree. But in terms of the dating, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, I'm obviously leaning towards Best Girl Tifa, but and again, big up for the alternate costumes there in that one. Plus,
That's just
the stream's going there. The old school, updated yet old school polygonal models as well. That is
the literal,
amazing.
like, the most HD polygons could look.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be in the Gold Saucer. I'm not gonna finish the game.
I think they've already said in the interviews that the whole game is full of mini games, but they're all mini games that appear in the Gold Saucer. So as you go through the game, you actually unlock more and more stuff that will appear back at the Gold Saucer.
This is dangerous play, Square. Dangerous play. So a couple of notes from the chat. Small Puddy saying, "Gimme Vincent, the Shadow the Hedgehog of the FF7 verse."
So just back up there, just seeing Red 13 twirling in his uniform.
Yes.
Pretending to be a Shinra trooper. Delightful.
Oh, so good.
Plus a fucking card game in there. There is so much side content in this that is just... Yeah, I'm doomed. This game is a goddamn time sink. An actual time sink. I am screwed on all fronts.
Oh my word. And Wellbound makes an interesting point as well. When we mentioned Vincent, like, wasn't there a thought about wanting to sort of bring like a unique play style relating to him? I'm not sure if I know exactly what that is in reference to, but is that something relating to... What was his standalone game? Dirge of Cerberus, wasn't it?
Dirge of Cerberus, yeah, which is set post Final Fantasy VII and pre-Advent Children, I believe, if memory serves. Because it's about I think it's set 2 years after the end of the events of Final Fantasy VII.
Also, people are now just saying, they're not going to see you at MonamiCon, are they? In Southampton.
Well, they will. It's just the masquerade is going to be me playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the projector screen.
You're gonna have one of those. You're gonna have one of those little PlayStation portable handheld things that you could stream your PS5 to.
Yeah, it's like, instead of the masquerade, you're just going to spend the next 3 hours watching me play this game. Deal with it. Yeah.
Oh my word. So, yeah, I'm mega excited for this. Okay, I'll just ask you, Keith. In theory, should I play the DLC before this, in your opinion, from Remake?
You don't have to, but it doesn't take long, and it's basically an introduction to Yuffie, because I imagine she'll probably be thrown in pretty quickly in Rebirth, but the way Integrate folds her into the main plot line of Remake. I mean, as an aside, I mean, if you're burning through Integrate, it's not going to take you long. Maybe if you just eyes on the prize, 6-7 hours of playtime, maybe, if you're just burning through without looking around or doing any of the side stuff. But it's just it's a nice handy extra, and because in the original game, Yuffie was always one of the most annoying characters.
I never had Yuffie in my OG playthrough of 7. I didn't know Yuffie was even a character until someone randomly mentioned them in a conversation. Like, I can't remember where, like at college or something, and I just went, who? I just had no idea.
But yeah, in Integrate, while still being the young, spunky ninja that she is, as with everything in the remake, it just fleshes out a background, her story, where she comes from, why she's going to where she's going, and her motivations. And she's just a far more fully rounded character. And while technically annoying in the way she presents herself and goes through life, the background and political situation she comes from, it's like everything else in this game. They've just fleshed out the original beautifully, and everyone is this wonderfully fully rounded, flawed, wonderful character. And TLDR, just play it. Just play it.
And here's one of those little choices again of dialogue trees you got to choose, which they've got a timer on it as well. You can't even just take your time on it.
Yeah, like I need to. I'd be like, Tifa, I love you.
Okay, so Small Puddy is now saying, wild idea for Minami. Cancel the masquerade. Do a three outlet play of Keith doing the gold saucer content and jokes. Do 3 hours, I think that's meant to be.
Yeah, but nobody wants to watch me sitting there playing a game, weeping openly about how beautiful I'm finding everything. So yeah. The biggest problem I'm going to have is the fact I'm going to have to tear myself away from this game to spend a weekend at Minami doing stuff. I do love Minami, but this is genuinely tough.
Shout out to
First
Minami.
world problem.
Shout out to Minami. You got a lot of mentions here tonight. But I think on that note, folks, I think we are going to wrap up, because we could still analyze so much about all these trailers and whatnot, but we can rewatch them. Game is coming out very, very soon. And Keith, I will just say thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute blast doing this.
Thank you for having me.
And if people want to attempt to find you, like on the social medias and whatnot, what's the way they can get hold of you personally and such?
Oh God, that's a good question.
Are you on formerly Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter as, I think, _man.
Yeah, as you see on screen, folks. Yeah.
Also on Instagram as well. If actually, because my Twitters and Instagram is pretty boring. It's just me going to the cinema a lot. The most interesting stuff, if you search Team Giblets on YouTube, teamgiblets.co.uk, and that will feed you through to it. And yeah, that is a compilation of numerous convention videos I and my wife Claire have put together over the years through the UK convention circuit, being total uber weebs and nerds. So,
and what an archive it is, folks. Go and find them, trust me.
God, it is at this point skitting since 2005.
Also,
almost
Keith,
20 years.
I will just let you know as a sidebar, Claire has just put in the chat that they're currently downloading the demo in the living room.
Hot damn. I don't know what I'm doing later then. That's the thing, I'll actually get to play it properly without having to, be shuffled on after 10 minutes. So.
Well, folks, I will remind you all before we go that Claire and I will be back this coming Friday from 7 PM UK time, because we will be beginning our playthrough of the original Ace Attorney trilogy, the remastered version. We will be beginning our playthrough of that. I've never played it. I have no idea what we're in for other than a good time, quite frankly.
Objection. Hold it.
There you go. So we will see what occurs with that. If you want to find archives of all the streams that have been done on this channel, if you go to you can go to my Linktree, which is /Jeraffemy, or go to the channel on YouTube, Jeraffemy Plays. You can find all the archives there of all the Twitch streams and such if you don't want to watch the VOD here on Twitch. You can also find my unboxings channel on there, which I keep saying every week should be getting back in order very, very soon. Now that I've actually cleared a load of work and stuff, I should hopefully be able to do some of that this week. What a novelty. I can't wait. Because it will be...
Your unboxing channel.
Yes, the unboxing channel. It will be about a silly Gundam show called Gundam San, all going well, which I can't wait to delve into, because it's nuts. But with that being said, folks, from myself, Jeremy Graves, from that man, Keith Copping, thank you so much for watching tonight, and until next time, take care, speak to you soon. Bye!